how Christmas was celebrated in every month of the year since its inception, and how them have a star over a house, and we were taught that it's 3 men who went to visit, when nowhere in the Bible not telling nothing like that. And with that, they said the nearest star to the earth is the sun, and there's nowhere a star when go stand up over a little barn with some animal there that some man can ride the camel to go find it by the star. It's kind of a ridiculous story. But it gets even more ridiculous when we look at the genealogy of the man who them call Jesus in the Bible. Matthew and Luke, the 2 different persons connected to David. Because you know what them say, Jesus was the line of Judah, from the tribe of Judah. And he was from King Solomon and David. Well, you know, David did have a whole heap of sons. David had about 19 sons, and some of them are dead in them babies. I mean, according to the Bible, and nothing in the Bible, but if you look in the Talmud, in the Jewish book, you will find it too, that what really happened is that Matthew, in Matthew 1, they trace the genealogy of Jesus, and it reached a Solomon. And you know, Solomon was the son of David. That is what Matthew say. When you're looking at Luke, it got different perception. It shows you say Mary was from the tribe of Judah, but it traces Jesus' genealogy to another son of David. And the next son of David, the name Nathan. Because I tell you, say, David did have a whole heap of son. So you have 2 sons in contention with this birth of this man. 2 of them, the Matthew and Luke, give you 2 different genealogy until it reach Solomon and Nathan. So one carry go at Nathan, and then say Nathan was the son of David, and David was the son of Jesse, and it go on that way there. And then one show you say, and Jesus descended from Solomon, who was the son of David, and David was the son of Jesse. Why we mention that is because it can't be that 2 people are right about a historical event and get it so wrong. And then now the theologian, them who want to justify the reason, I say it don't matter, because it shows you say the 2 of them, the 2 sons them descended from David, and like the most important thing in that story is David. But I don't see it that way there. Because if my great-great-grandfather have 2 sons, and you tell me say my great-grandfather is one of the sons of my great-great-grandfather named John, and then somebody come to me and say, no, it's not John, is your great-grandfather. It's Tony, is your great-grandfather. Even though it's the same, it's 2 brothers. So it's 2 brothers, them give you as the great-great-grandfather of the man them called Jesus. So that's how the story kind of get topsy-turvy already. And that's pertaining to the 25th of December. But they don't tell you already, say, them couldn't choose a time there because a cold time. No shepherd now, you know, feel like look after sheep in the night, as a matter of fact. And we'll also show you that no man now go take up him 9-month-old child, 9-month pregnant wife, and put her up on a donkey if you travel nearly 100 miles to go register. As a matter of fact, there's no record of registering going on in a Nazareth at the time when them say suppose it did happen. So them things they will kind of recognize something wrong. The beginning of the story wrong, then the end can't right. It's like a man say 1 and 1 is 3. If 1 and 1 is 3, then 3 and 2 can't be 5. See, so it start out wrong already, and we start to make it right by imagining that our imagination going to put a story that them claim say is written by inspired men, and we must believe it. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And when they tell you most of them people, there's not no big man like 40 years old, some little teenager. Just like how them say Jesus was 12 years old when them go amongst the man them and confound them with them knowledge. A whole heap of them in the Bible was teenager. even Mary was a teenager when she have so-called Jesus. 20-year-old Joseph was Jesus born from a 12-year-old woman. In them days, and even till now, a whole heap of men who is of Muslim faith, Islamic faith, them have mass marriage where children is betrothed to a man, a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, 10-year-old, and them get married. And when I say them married, them have sex with them, when I say them get married, and it's for them woman. And then when she's supposed to reach at a certain age, them start have sex with her. But the Bible tells us that Joseph did have sex. Well, it never tells us that Joseph did have sex. It says Mary was impregnated by the angel. Jesus Christ never going to have one son. I mean, God never going to have one son. Because in Genesis 6, it shows you say, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fear. But read it for yourself. Genesis 6, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fear and took unto themselves wives. And in that day, giants start to come up on the face of the earth. And them start to do all sort of manner of things. And God say, he really feel bad when he go make man and he go destroy them. Yes, he might repent of the sin. Him feel sin. God will repent of him sin. Because him also is flesh. A man shall live, what them call, almost score, 120-year-old. And then dead. Yet the little man according to them live long after that. So the story kind of get away as it relates to these stories that them put in it, and you don't question it because you say the word of God. And you're afraid to ask your pastor, because even your pastor don't read it that way. The pastor read enough to confound you, to make you feel guilty of everything where you do and where you don't do. Like when them tell you say, thou shalt not commit adultery. And when them say thou shalt not commit adultery, one man come back and tell you say, even if you think about it in your heart, you have already committed adultery. I want to know which man never commit adultery in my heart yet. I want to know which man don't do that. So the whole of it gone in the bottomless pit. A pit of if a pit of bottomless, it's not a pit, it's a big hole. And that me I say. So them come with this 25th of December, and everybody now turn to it as the day that this man supposed to born. And we hold fast to the day. And even though them know say them never born the 25th of December, them still now kind of maneuver your brains. Them maneuver your brains to say, well, let us say them never born the 25th of December, but it is good to have a day that you can give family, come together with family and give gifts and them thing there. That is where them catch me. But all them catch me with this gift thing now is that them have a thing named shop and plaza and mall and store, where you have to go into that store more than usual. More than usual. So meanwhile, you think about, well, it's Christmas and it's time of the year with good cheer and this and that. You spend more money at Christmas, and after Christmas you have less money. The poor people that. So the confusion still insists and continue in your brains. But you don't recognize it because you're so into it that you feel that you're moving according to your own plan. But it's not really your plan. It's them set out the plan for you. Them set out the plan for you. And then make you continue it into another day named Boxing Day. But them give another holiday, and you don't know what the hell is Boxing Day. You feel say some people in the box and I thump down one another, and that's not what this Boxing Day is all about. And it's only in the British Commonwealth you have Boxing Day. According to them, when the master used to look after him work as them, him heap up a left from Christmas and put it in a box and give the servant them to have a good time. Just Boxing Day. It have no significance or relevance to nothing. Nothing. And then you can see the things that them give you during Christmas. Like, really and truly, a Christmas tree, which is the main thing that a whole lot of people strive for. Now they want to make Christmas tree scientific, you know. Anybody see the tree they want to make scientific, you know. Yeah, them tree they can't wither up. Them stronger, the leaf them not drop off. Them people are not easy, you know. Yeah. So the Christmas tree is a centerpiece in your house, where you put all sort of light on it and jack up your electricity bill, the thief in JPS. Jack up your electricity bill. Them glad when Christmas come, you go to conserve on electricity. They really want you burn more electricity because the more money the more electricity they burn, is the more money them get, and then government scheme out for them own. And go with it, and you left with it a light bill that you never usually have, but you start to complain on the radio say, boy, my light bill gone up, you know, sir. You don't know my light bill, I forgot to put on 2 dozen, 3 dozen pepper light on the bulb, on the Christmas tree. And then you put some little present around it. And then you say, boy, it's a man named Santa Claus come, but you don't have no chimney. As you hear chronics just sing, no chimney there in the ghetto. So Santa Claus can't jump on no chimney. So you have a problem because you have to go explain to your picnic. But you don't explain to your picnic them, you still have to tell them about Santa Claus. Because Santa Claus is embedded in your mind. And you don't know it gets in your mind, but it's in your mind and you can't get it out. Because if you get it out, you're going to say, when am I going to replace it with? Like say you have to go replace it with something. It's like you have a headache and your headache get better. You say, well, when am I going to replace my headache with? That is really what they want to tell you. Them give you a headache and you try to get it out. And you say, boy, I don't want to get it out, you know, because I don't know when I'm going to replace the headache with. That is what Christmas is to a whole heap of people. From them time until now, especially poor people who don't have things during the year, but at Christmas time, they have everything. And then when Christmas done, they hear them a ball and after them have the money to send them to the, and them walk by the father, them call your grandmother foreign, and I say, if you can't send some money for me, for go get this and get that. And the mother tell them, so she like the money, say, no, you got to find the money in America, you're there. I expect say, money to grow up on tree in America, that your family have to send money for you, even though you don't have to buy things where you don't need, fast eyelash, fast this, fast that, and all them things there. And I cook things where you can't, where you don't eat for the rest of the day, and when I say, you know, if you eat things, certain times we never usually eat all the while, you know, but everything just come from one booth. So then put this thing on your Christmas tree, you put Christmas tree in your house. The tree take how much years if you grow. And you chop down the tree and put in your house. And you put it in there for 2 weeks and you throw it out back. It turn dry wood. And you don't have no fire to burn it because you can't burn them things there in your yard really, because man go vex with you. But I mean, going to come down from your tree and slash and burn. And you're supposed to slash and burn. So right after the tree dead, and more carbon dioxide, less oxygen for human being, because the tree will usually breathe out carbon dioxide and you breathe in oxygen upon them. It let the tree breathe out the oxygen and breathe in the carbon dioxide. And then now you're in a problem, because then now all sorts of things start to take place and one thing lead to the next. We just lay it out. It's a false sense of security, them give way. False sense of security. And we don't recognize how terrible it is until it catch up and way. And more thieves about the place. No, not that they about the place all the while, but they come out of the closet. You have closet thief, you know. You have closet thief. Yeah, they've got come out until certain time. Just like how it marvel me, so much carried up on the road them time of year, yeah. I know where them carried there all the while. Where did all those carried there all the while to come clog up all the road them know that? You say, but wait, so much carried up on the road. Where them carried there? But that is the way of Christmas, because that is how them set it. You don't know how them set it, because it's set in your mind. If you said your thing, it's your thing. Because some people don't want to wear the same clothes 2 times, you know. No, only a woman don't want to wear the clothes, especially women, they don't want to wear the same clothes 2 times. So under the holiday, I don't have to have more, them have one for Christmas Eve, one for Christmas, one for Boxing Day, one for New Year's Eve, and one for New Year's Day. Anyway, so this man named Jesus, the whole story derived from ancient Egypt. The whole story derived from China. The whole story derived from India. And if you're looking at all of these stories, there is a representation like the man called Jesus in these stories. But we know, say, the one that really catch our eye more is the story of Isis, Horus, and Osiris. We tell the story all the while, and it did it. If you go examine it, the book of the coming forth by day, or them call it the Egyptian Book of the Dead by Wallace Budge, who thief the book and go put it in the museum in England. There's a lucky thing, say some man try it now and start to really republish it for people see it. No. This story of this man, what them call Jesus, derived from the son of Isis. The son of Isis. And according to the mythology, it is a mythology. It's not something real. We don't want to go back now into the madness. We say these things is real because we have moved from Jesus now and we start to make Isis, Horus, and Osiris real people. It's mythology. So Isis have a husband named Osiris. And the brother named Seth. Seth killed Osiris and put him in a well, I call it a box and send him down the sea, send him down the river. And Isis, I look for her husband, and she end up focused to the body of her man, Osiris. And according to the mythology, the story, she awake the body and get pregnant. She get pregnant from the body and bring her son named Horus. Now, if you look at the ancient artifacts them or artwork in a Europe, like in a Rome, and in a Ethiopia, you see a woman with a baby in her lap. This is a representation of the same Isis Horus story we are talking about, that this Horus is the son, S-O-N, of God. Isis, the mother of God, the mother, and is the mother God. Isis. She represents the first concept of mythological God in Egypt. But them refer to the sun in the sky. Because the sun, and them know it, the Egyptian them didn't know it, the sun is the source of all life on earth. The sun is the source of all life on earth. So these people recognize the sun as a deity. So them look to the sun and worship the sun in the sky. Plus you have the sun worshippers. And even though that did happen in Egypt thousands of years before the Greek and the Romans them, when the Greeks and the Romans them come about, them used to have the same concept. The sun god. The sun god is a god to be worshipped because it is the source of life on the planet. It gives you energy. It's the greatest energy that emanates out of the sky on the earth. So them say praises unto the sun, but them call it Ra. Ra. Sun Ra. Or Ra, R-A, Ra. Amen Ra. Or Amen Ra. Just the term Amen, when the Christian them say them prayers, them end it and say Amen, not knowing that it is a Egyptian word that is engrafted into Christianity, that them don't even know, because you can't tell a person that, because the person don't know nothing about Egypt more than Moses come out of Egypt and God kill Pharaoh and wipe it out. That is all them know. Before Moses there was Egypt. Before the Israelites there was Egypt, but I used to call it Kemet. So this Ra represents the sun. This Isis represents the mother. That's why the Roman Catholic them say, Holy Mary, Mother of God. Because now the sun becomes God. The sun represents God. So them say, the Roman Catholic them say, Holy Mary, Mother of God. And them say, you can't reach to the Son, the Father, unless you go to a thing in purgatory. And she have to carry your soul to the Son, to the Father. So them almost worship Mary. People see it as strange and weird, but that is what used to happen in the original form of the story now that dwindled down into what you call Christianity. Them don't know how it come about. So the sun in the sky, S-U-N, become the sun on earth, and the attributes that is given to the sun man was what was credited to the sun in the sky. Now the people them who come now and adopt this thing and now, this philosophy, the Greeks and the Romans them, when them start to recognize there's a group of people in a Jerusalem, now called Israel, now called Palestine. When these people start to shed a whole heap of them ideas and start to come into the consciousness, and she said there was a whole heap of people in Israel, in Palestine, in Jerusalem, that have this aura of light, this force, this energy. Them start to anoint them and call them Christ. Christ. Thus Christ is not a last name for nobody. Christ is not a last name for nobody. Christ is anointed. That is what it means. And there were many Christs in Palestine, in Israel, in Jerusalem at the time. But everybody have them little clique. You have this gang over there, so them have a Christ over there, so that Christ over there, so. Yet still, you know, so you have a gang now where them better than all the gang them, and them have more argument than all the other gang them. So this man who people now call Jesus, which is not a name for him, but is Yahshua. That is the name that he was called, Yahshua. Yahshua become the leader or the head of one of the gang them. And why I say gang? Because these men were fighting for freedom from the Greco-Roman Empire that was ruling them at the time. The Romans. They was fighting a serious guerrilla warfare against them. So the gang them now start to organize themselves in a different way. But this gang, headed by this man named Yahshua, and we must tell you that Yahshua was a very popular name also. Yahshua started to identify himself as a real leader. And he started to say certain things that grip a whole heap of people in the area and the community, and they started to flock to him. And garner attention by the big priests them, the big church folks them, and the people them in the Jewish, the scribes and the Pharisees and all these people. And the scribes and the Pharisees never like where I go on, them go to the Roman governor and say, look here, there's a guy in this area, you know, he might call himself certain things and certain things, you know. He might deny Caesar. What is Caesar? Caesar, so him say, well, we forget rid of him, you know. But this man was not a magician. This man was not a magician. But because them people are following him so much and love him so much, them start to build up certain stories round the man. Them start to build up a whole heap of stories around the man. And that story become the story of a man named Jesus Christ. When nobody never named so. Nobody never exists named so. The attributes of them give a man alive have nothing to do with the man where we say everybody are worship you so now. Not at all. The story where we have you so now, as a story that is 2,000 years old, is concocted by some little guys who claim autonomy over religious beliefs and religious practices at the time, and create something that we know. I forgot read it about it in a Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. And the man who named Matthew, Mark, Luke and John never know nobody named so neither. Them never know nobody named so. Where them are right is like a guy a report on a story down the line with some people going in a community and them tell him a story. And for make the thing look great and glorious, when them go to the community, people them say, yeah man, and the man chop the man in him face 2 times, you know. That time really all 1 time him chop him, you know. But for make the story develop in a great story. And I'm saying this, and next man come on and put him on pan him, you know. And when we look, you know, say no cut at all, you know, the man there will be a man, you know. And everybody started to say, right, this man is great. So these guys don't hear Matthew, Mark, Luke and John start to write down things where them never experience. And the more them write is the more them put in things in the way people never tell them. But in order to make the move, to make the thing get bigger and bigger, and irritate the Romans them, they make the man become a god. They make the man become a god. And since they make him become a god now, and the Romans them realize them can't get rid of the thinking of these people, they're going to say, all right, here we go. If you can't beat them, we're going to join them. We're going to join them. So guess what them do now? They're going to a place named Constantinople, named after the emperor named Constantine. The place named Constantinople was in a place named Turkey. In Istanbul, called Turkey today. Istanbul, the capital of Turkey. Them called Constantine. That is where him ruled from. The emperor named Constantine. Him ruled from Constantinople. And this place named Turkey is in a 2 different continents. Look on the map and you will see it. I mean, not look on the map because I go there and see it. 2 different continents. It's in Europe and it's in Asia. One part of it in Europe, one part of it in Asia. It is like a gateway between Asia and Europe. All of you just take a little boat and go across and you reach in Europe. You take a boat and come back in Asia. And this is when now the whole of the story now start to get murky or mucky. The story start to get mucky now because Constantine and them friend them realize them can't get rid of these little zealots, these little people who every minute them burn down one place, every minute them kill 2 soldiers and all them something there because them look for them freedom. So you know about it now. Them are going to orchestrate a thing where if you can't beat them, you join them. So him come now and him say, all right, you know, we're not going to fight against Jesus, you know. And this man who will lead the rebellion against we, you know. We are going to join them. But you know what we are going to do? We are going to say, oh, we can't get rid of this man here. And then we become the center of all of this thing. So them set up some of the same guys, them to kill the man. The same guys, them who are following them, set him up to sell him out and kill him. And then now, when them kill him now, them become the center of the whole thing now. So them can't do what them want to do with the thinking, with the rebellion, with the revolution. And so, them organize for now, make we write down these things in our book that generations to generations will come and see it our way. So them give that thing named the New Testament. And one of the greatest writers of the New Testament was a Roman citizen named Paul. Paul was written before the Gospels. Paul never knew who named Jesus Christ neither. Isn't it ironical that none of the man them who write down these things never know no man named Jesus, but all of them are listen to people in the community and talk about this man? And not that him never used to live, it's just that the things them with them highfalutin they say about him never happen. Never happen. I go through the pieces, I try explain to the ones them about this idea and concept of Christmas and Jesus and them something. I will reach a part where I talk about the Greeks and the Romans them infiltrating this idea in order to calm down the rebellion of the Jews them in at that time in Israel and Palestine. So them will have to create something or merge their thing with the new idea that come out of that part of the world. So in a Rome and Greek, them will have a thing named, them will have some people named the pagans. Now we start to demonize pagans, just like how we demonize Babylon, because we have a Judeo-Christian mindset. So anything with Judeo-Christian push away, we accept it as our idea. And pagan is one of them ideas where was demonized. But the pagan them was some nature people, sun god worshipping and all these things. And we are talking about the sun in the sky. And we know say there's a time, especially in them time, you know, the sun kind of get weak and the sun rise up again and get strong. And these things happen during this time of the year. When we say this time, I mean like in the winter. In the winter. And it rise again, come up back. Them say the sun dead and the sun rise up. This was a story given to the sun in the sky by these so-called pagans in Europe. But we know that those ideas come from out of Kemet, Egypt. You understand? So, them fuse the Greco-Roman stories with this Jewish story, which is not really a Jewish story because the Jews them never really accept Jesus as no God or no Messiah. Them never see him as no Messiah. It's just another one of them soothsayer where I walk up and down around the place and I prophesy this and I prophesy that. Just like nowadays you have people who do that. So these big guys start to say, look, you know, if you can't beat them, you join them, you know. So them start to fuse paganism with this newfound Christian concept, Christian idea that centered around a man named Yahshua, then now to be called Jesus in a Greece and Roman. This man where them call Yahshua, him never walk on the water. And him never feed 5,000 people no fish. These are stories surrounding cultural practices in at the time of the Greco-Roman control of the Western world, or that's the Western world. You know, just like how we have certain things now, that certain rituals that is governed by Europe. You know, you can see the constitution, you can see the parliament. Parliament have certain rituals in life. When them open parliament with the mace and all these things. It's really European ideas that is embedded in our cultural practices now, that would start to see it as this is how the thing's supposed to go. You know, so when parliament are open and everybody say God save the queen and no, God save the king, no, all of these things is embedded inside a way. But the same way all these things in a them time they're embedded inside of the people them. That when the Greeks and the Romans, who is colonizers, take over the place and start to infuse for them understanding, for them cultural practices with the Jewish cultural practices now, it become what them now called Christianity, and is now adopted by the state. The state had to adopt it as the religion of the state. Christianity, the religion of the state. It's not the Jews make it the religion of the state. It's the Greco-Roman, it's the Romans do it. And then everybody follow it. Or if you don't follow it, you're liable for dead. So all pagan idea get wiped out. And now pagans is demonized. Just like how we demonize Babylon, just like how we demonize Egypt. You know, and then now we start to add certain magical character in this idea. It's just like how you hear a Rastaman say, this last chop up and chop it 30 times before you drop a ground. Him never say that, he don't know nobody who say that, you know, but somebody say it to him and him start to repeat it. So a whole heap of people say, yeah, you know, so the man turn water in a wine and go and repeat it, I keep repeating it. And you start to repeat the lie and become true. And that is really a whole heap of things where we start to hold on fast to as reality. It's not our reality. It's something that is placed in our subconscious and become our consciousness and become part of we, and we can't come out like another, but after we die for these stories. We die for these stories. I'm going to talk to my brethren, them, Rasta brethren. You have some stories where people have about Haile Selassie. You can't tell him, say, no go so. You know, see, him was dead for the story, and the story no go so, you know. But him get so engrafted into that mindset that these madness become reality to him. As usually you go tell him, say, no go so, you know. Because I keep repeating the story over and over and start to accept it as truth, you know. Some simple little thing, you know. Some simple little thing him start to accept as true when nothing really no go so. Well, the same thing with these people. These people repeat this thing about Jesus so much. About this man who did live in Israel, Jerusalem, so long, so much them repeat it. That them hand it out to them 4 periods, and then now it embedded in them to reach over yes or no. And we start to accept these things. Real. We start to feel them as real things, and we start to engraft it in our spiritual awakening, spiritual consciousness, and the religious perspective make it become even realer. Because that is what religion is supposed to do. Religion is supposed to solidify what you believe in. That is supposed to awaken your spiritual self. Was it not awaken your spiritual self? You know, because it's the same problem where you have when you begin. It's the same problem you have even now. And you still try to figure out if 1 and 1 is equal to 2. Because man can come tomorrow and show you. It's like you have some people walk on a place, real conscious people that say the earth flat. I remember one time they said the earth is flat, you know. And man come show you scientifically and say, no, the earth don't flat. But now you have people now who come in and tell you the world flat, and they're going to try to show you some explanation for show you say the world flat. And you can't get that all the time. Well, it's the same way with the religion. It's the same way with the religion that you have these things in you, and it's so embedded in you, you know, that it's like you have to get up, you have to eat your breakfast, lunchtime you have to eat lunch, and then when you have to eat dinner. These things is engrafted in you, you know. These things that if you don't do it, you feel something wrong. You feel like you're doing something terrible. And no matter of fact, you will start to sick yourself and say, well, you know, somebody don't eat no breakfast this morning, and that's why I feel sick, you know. And really, maybe I know that, you know. Maybe I know that. So them really do it. So the brainwashing of our mind and our consciousness, we start to we start to accept things, but it's not we. So now we come around to the Christmas, and them give a whole heap of things. Them give a Christmas tree, them give a Christmas carol, them give a postcard. You know, we even all want put snow. Yeah, some people go put cotton pan Christmas tree, and snow it represents, you know. And then put frost pan them window. In the winter, in Jamaica, I know me talk about, you know. Them buy the frost in the thing like spray, and spray it on them glass to make it look like snow. And we have the beautiful sunlight and penetrate with melanin skin. And we want snow. When them people are run from the snow, at them time of year, your tourism get big, you know, between the 15th of December and 15th of April, they make more money off of tourism than any other time of the year. Because the people are run from the snow. And we have to know, I spray this and I spray that and I spray that. And I go and like say, Christmas tree with cotton pan it to represent snow. And people now burn out them electricity. You pass some year, you see light bulb like worries. Merry Christmas, but have nothing to do with a man who lived 2,000 years ago. Nothing. It don't have nothing to do with it. If you listen to the ad them on the radio, listen to the ad them on the radio about the function them will keep. If you hear 10 ad, if you hear 4 out of 3, 2 out of them are there, represent Jesus Christ's birthday. Well, I eat my words, I eat my fingernail too. It's a weird thing. And then you have people that say, oh, that's a mad, what more talk about Rasta? And then some people say, why can't but a man can't go good evening? That is why we're in the problem over there. Because we have followed them, make a mad story about we can't but a man can't go good. We can't but a man can't fix it in the afternoon and make it come good in the evening. But we're too lazy, we're mind too lazy to fix things. So we keep doing the same thing the same way all the while and expect a different result. And we're not going to get no different result if you do the same thing the same way all the while. Because 1 and 2 is not 5. 1 and 1 is not 3. And okay, you count it now, we get 3. But somebody can come and show you another argument. They say, oh yeah, true, you know, 1 and 1 and 3 for true. And that is how black people say it too. When you up and show up everything, well, it's craziness. Craziness. So, as we go again into this time, we have to recognize how deep the brainwashing is. And this is the time of the year when most of the brainwashing start to see say you really brainwash. And when a man brainwash, he don't even know him brainwashing now. Because he feels he move off his own self. He don't know him is like programmed. Yeah, because you program, why every year you have to do the same thing. Because more than likely, most elder people, New Year's Eve, they want to get catching at church. Yeah, them have to go to church New Year's Eve. For church, New Year's Eve church pack. Yeah, that is how them see it. Yet still, you have certain part of the thing where don't celebrate, it's not the whole world celebrate the 1st of January as New Year Day. Just like how the 7th of January, them celebrate the Epiphany, the Christmas times, in Ethiopia, and the most of the Orthodox church, them, in the East, Armenian Orthodox, Russian Orthodox, all of them church there, they don't celebrate the 25th of December. How that possible that nobody knows when Jesus is born? And I'm supposed to be born. Oh, nobody don't know. Nobody know when can empirically say this man was born that time. And if you ask a person in Jamaica, you're going to get the same question answer. He was born on Christmas Day. When is Christmas Day? The 25th of December. Oh, you know that? You must question that. Because you come see your granny and your great grandmother and your mother praise it as the Christmas. You have to accept it. And if you don't want us to say Jesus born, let's take it at that time when families come together and have dinner and cake and all these things. But what? Them just tell you that. Them just tell you that. Because if everybody have to come together upon a specific time of the year, specific day, all over the Western world, it means you get brainwashed again. Because even if you take out Jesus outright, which they did, and they never have it in there in the first place, even if they take it outright, and you start to say family business, it's brainwash again. Because you don't want to celebrate Christmas, you start to turn Christmas into a family event. And you say, well, I don't celebrate Christmas, you know, but I know say it's nice for family to come together. Of course, family nice to come together. So you never know that all the while. And now that you know that, why you have to choose a day now for counteract Christmas. Christmas now get counteracted, you know. No, Christmas now we get counteracted. And we know people who don't celebrate Christmas. We're not talking about the Western world now. Because you have people in Jamaica who's not Rasta who don't celebrate Christmas. Yes, because they recognize the pagan, not the pagan, the Roman idea. That's a pagan thought, the pagan idea of it. Because it's really the Christian them who was pagans in Rome, who was atheists, that pagan atheists. The Christian there was no seen as atheists in Rome because they never believed in the Greek god Zeus. You know, say it, and them come believing in the god Zeus because them get engrafted in Zeus, Z-E-U-S, the god of all the gods. And all of these stories handed out to we as African people. And we get caught in them. It's really, really weird. This is no.
What are you getting your wife for Christmas this year?
I don't celebrate Christmas.
Why not?
Because it's against my religious beliefs.
Are you Jewish?
No.
Are you a Muslim?
No.
Jehovah's Witness?
No.
Buddhist?
No.
Hindu?
No.
Baha'i?
No.
Worldwide Church of God?
No.
Seventh-day Adventist?
No.
Catholic?
No.
Protestant?
No.
Pentecostal?
No.
Unitarian?
No.
Atheist?
No.
Are you a member of the Church of Satan?
No.
Well then, what religion are you?
I'm a Christian. I'm a member of a historic Sovereign Grace Baptist Church.
So you don't believe in the birth of Christ then?
Of course I do. I'm a Christian, remember?
Why don't you celebrate the birth of Christ then?
What does the birth of Christ have to do with celebrating Christmas?
Christmas is the celebration of the birth of Christ.
Really? Where does it say in the Bible that Jesus was born on December 25th?
It doesn't.
When does the Bible say Jesus was born?
The Bible does not say, but all the evidence in the Bible points to a September birth of Christ.
So why would you celebrate his birth on December 25th if he was born in September?
I don't know. I guess because that's the way the world does it.
Why do they celebrate it on December 25th?
Because the Catholic Church renamed a pagan sun-worshipping holiday that was already celebrated on December 25th. The Catholic Encyclopedia says, the well-known solar feast of Natalis Solis Invicti Nativity of the Unconquered Sun celebrated on 25th of December, has a strong claim on the responsibility for our December date. The World Book Encyclopedia says, in AD 354, Pope Tiberius of Rome ordered the people to celebrate on December 25th. He probably chose this date because the people of Rome already observed it as the feast of Saturn, celebrating the birthday of the sun. Christians honored Christ, instead of Saturn, as the light of the world.
So people celebrate Christmas on December 25th because it was a pagan sun-worshipping holiday that the Catholic Church incorporated into Catholicism and changed its name to Christmas in order to convert the pagans to Catholicism?
Yes, that's right.
Do you now understand why I don't celebrate this Christianized pagan holiday?
No. What's wrong with transforming a pagan sun-worshipping holiday into a celebration of the birth of Christ and then incorporating it into God's religion?
The problem with it is that God hates it and forbids such practices in the Bible.
Where does the Bible say that?
Just before Israel entered the land of Canaan, God warned them to not look at the way those pagan nations worshipped their gods and worship God likewise. God said in Deuteronomy 12:29-32, when the Lord thy God shall cut off the nations from before thee, whither thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their land, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God. For every abomination to the Lord, which he hateth, have they done unto their gods, for even their sons and their daughters they have burned in the fire to their gods. What thing soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. This is exactly what the Catholic Church did when they looked at how the pagans worshiped their gods and decided to worship God likewise with merrymaking, gift-giving, bringing green trees, holly, mistletoe, and Yule logs into their homes, and taking time off of work. God says don't do that.
But those things are fun and harmless, right?
God doesn't think so. God says that pagan worship like the holidays of Saturnalia and Natalis Solis Invicti are devil worship. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 10:20-21, but I say, that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, and not to God. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord, and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table, and of the table of devils. To celebrate Saturnalia is to have fellowship with devils. To celebrate Christmas, which is Saturnalia under a different name, is to have fellowship with devils.
Surely God would not care if I put a Christmas tree in my house, would he?
Yes, he does. The Bible says in Jeremiah 10:2-4, Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman, with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold, they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Bringing trees into one's house and decorating them with silver and gold, can you say tinsel is what the heathen do? God says don't do that.
But most Christians celebrate Christmas, so that must mean God is okay with it, right?
Where in the Bible does it command us to celebrate Christmas?
It doesn't.
Where in the Bible does it even command us to celebrate the birth of Christ?
It doesn't.
Where in the Bible does it record the apostles and early Christians celebrating Christmas or the birth of Christ?
Nowhere.
Did you know that historically Christians did not celebrate Christmas up until a couple of 100 years ago because it was a Catholic pagan holiday?
No.
Did you know that a law was passed making it illegal to celebrate Christmas in the colony of Massachusetts in 1659?
No. I will have to Google that.
So, you admit that Christmas is a pagan holiday which the Catholic Church changed the name of and incorporated into Catholicism? And you now understand that God forbids such things?
Yes.
So, you admit that God nowhere in the Bible commands us to celebrate Christmas?
Yes.
And you admit that none of the apostles or early Christians celebrated Christmas in the Bible?
Yes.
And you understand that Christmas wasn't celebrated by Christians throughout most of history because they knew it was a Catholic pagan holiday?
Yeah, well, I play that one for my Christian friends, them who listen to this program, even them always are. Because I say, prefer hear it from some other people than hear me I say it. Kind of things as a Rasta thing. So, yes, I play it through now. Okay.
Here's the reality. The image of a white Jesus has been used to justify enslavement, conquest, colonialism, the genocide of indigenous peoples. There are literally millions of human beings whose lives have been snuffed out by people who conquered under the banner of a white god. That is a far more significant problem than whether a black writer in 2013 suggests somewhat humorously, but perhaps seriously, that we should change Santa to a penguin. No one's going to die because of that iconography. The white Jesus, white God imagery has literally resulted in death. That's something folks ought to deal with. What Megyn Kelly said was very simply, quote, Santa is white, end of quote, and so is Jesus. So I think the real issue is, if you want to make a joke about Santa's whiteness, here's a way to do it that would not presume white normalcy or that white is the norm. You could say, for instance, and I would, that if there were Santa, he'd have to be white because no black man could break into millions of homes even if he was bearing presents and not be shot by some neighborhood watch captain. That's a way to be funny, but Fox News would never do that because that would presume that they had to admit racial profiling and racism were real. So there's that. I think the real issue is that she made a statement of fact, not for her own opinion, but fact. There's a difference between believing in Santa and believing in Jesus or the Buddha. Buddha did not come from Kansas. Jesus was not born in a manger in central Pennsylvania. He was a man of color, and the fact that we have represented him for centuries, literally as a white man, speaks to the entire history of white supremacy. We can act like it didn't happen. We can make it the punchline of a joke, but the reality is this iconography, Jesus more so than Santa, I agree with Mel here, Jesus more so than Santa is a real problem. There's a reason we've represented these icons as white. It's not a coincidence that we've done that.
Okay, do you think there's something inherently wrong? I understand you saying that a white Jesus has been used to do horrible things, but
here's the difference, and Reza is right. No, Reza's right, but the difference is that the power of others to make Jesus or to make Christ as they view him has never come close to the power of the European power to make Jesus white. In other words, black folks can think Jesus is black and view Christ as black, but at the end of the day, the image that has been used to dominate Christianity in this world and on this planet is the white image. So therefore, you can believe, you can think Jesus looks like whatever you want or that Christ looks like whatever you want. Ultimately, though, there is such a thing as power, and it's not equitable. And so if certain people have been able to impose their image of the Christ, of the Savior on others, or God, or Adam and Eve, the first human beings ostensibly as white people, to believe that that doesn't have an effect is to believe that advertising doesn't have an effect. It's to believe that companies that spend billions of dollars don't actually sell you stuff based on the images they use, which is nonsense.
Do you ever come to the ghetto? You know, him couldn't come down there, Well, because man kind of on top of people, go to put bag in there. One gunshot. That is the end of that. Next man, them find him, do have on the clothes. Yes, them mythology, not even mythology, them craziness there is what continuing at the minds of the people, them. After a mother and a father work 360 odd days for the year, one day she come and put a gift in the house and say, Santa bring it. Before she tell the people, say, she buy it, and because you must have appreciation for what she did. That she works so hard for the year and she still find time, or he still find time to give her a gift or her a gift. Give thanks for that. You understand? Give thanks for that. Well, you are telling children lie about this. obese white man bring gift. Him not have no time to bring no gift. Him not come down to them garrison area there. We know that. Know that. And feel like do have people them can't defend him personally. Can't defend him. So we not tell a man say it out scrap. But the other time it never did it, and some people bring it there. So and some people can move it too. But here embedded in the minds of the people it there. It can move out. You know, the other time it never did it. And so much years now it did it. It look like it's hard and difficult to get rid of it. But trust me, when the people them come, when the right time come, the people them go and wake up. Yesterday I see a bobo, dreadlocks with him broom, and Constance Spring Road. I go to West King's House Road, and I say, but wait, you know, a years me not see a bobo with a broom and with him turban and him robe. The turban and robe thing come like a archival piece, you know, because me not see up all them bobo there when me see a wrap up them. Well, all them man when me see a wrap up them head and all them way there. Them man, you know, even them used to wear it. Them done with that now. Me say the brethren, me need to lick up in the back of this car, you know. Yeah, me need to lick up in the back of the car because me say a long time, a years, me not see a bobo, dreadlocks, with him turban and him robe, where every man used to take pride in a turban and robe. Man become, the turban and robe become a religion to certain one. A religion, them take it as. And now we see that gone now, that gone out of the bobo camp, you know. But why you the bobo we see yesterday, you know, with him turban and him robe and him broom them are selling, you know, because you know the broom was a major part of the commercial activity of the bobo them. It could have been a major industry, you know, if it just structure a certain way. But it's sweet when we see, man, sweet. We don't know what's wrong with them, man, they wear up them every turban nowadays. Wow, them no stick to the culture, you know, robe, turban and robe. And that me I say, turban and robe. Yes, me just see that talk about the bobo when we see yesterday with the broom, man. And enough respect to that brethren there, you know. Yeah, man. I'm going to listen to you, and enough respect to that brethren there. Because, sure, it was like a gem, man. You see the brethren. All red turban, red robe, and them broom them. You know, as simple as you take it, you know. Because you have some little plastic broom where them sell now, you know. The best broom them are where the bobo them used to make, you know. Them have one to sweep your house, one to sweep your yard, one to sweep in your car, one tall, one to sweep the seat, to get out the cobweb out of the ceiling. A big $1 million industry, that $1 million industry. Run right and run properly. You know, see, it could have been $1 million industry. But as we say, man come and man go. Yes. Man gone now in a jacket and tie and all them something the way. Man used to lick against too. Remember man say bun jacket and tie, man in a jacket and tie now and some little gun mouth pants. Yeah, I don't know I'm going height. Come like the pedal pusher there where the woman them are wear. You know see? Yeah, that's how it go. That's how it go. Anyway, we have an interview here, Mayberry. I hope him there on the line. It ready for me? Oh, soon. Alright. We could go and play to the bobo breadlocks with them broom. Okay, so we want to speak to Dan Tiax, investment banking, and I'm going to tell you some things about Mayberry and what investments in terms of bonds and all these things. Good afternoon, Mr. Tiax. Tiax, I'm calling Bridget.
Yes, everybody calls me Dan Muta. I hope I
all right, Dan is the man you want. All right, Dan. Okay, Dan, you investment banking. And I never know said this is about bonds still, but you can explain to people them to the listener them when you say what is a bond?
Yeah man, definitely, and thank you for having me, Moot. I appreciate it. So Mayberry Investments is a company that's been around. It's an investment bank, you know, for over 36 years, since 1985, and we consider ourselves a leader when it comes to dealing with stocks and bonds. And I think everybody knows what stocks are, and we're sort of the innovator when it comes to...
No, really, you have to take them on the low level, you know, because we don't want to talk above them. So I understand when you talk to some people, everybody knows what stocks is, but you have to take it and say, what is stocks? Just like when I ask you what is bond, that you can explain. Just explain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, when a company is trying to raise money, in general, they usually raise it in two forms, either through stocks, which we call equity, or through some form of debt. And a bond is just a form of debt. So Mayberry Investments is a publicly listed company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and, you know, we have over 6,000 shareholders who own some of our stocks. And we have a subsidiary that's called Mayberry Jamaican Equity, and that's also a publicly listed company that has over $20 billion of assets and again over 6,000 shareholders who own some of the stocks. Now Mayberry is coming with something innovative. It's a bond, and what a bond is, is where a company or a government or a corporation is raising money from a pool of investors. What they do is they create a bond instrument, and you have an independent person administering that bond, in this case a trustee, they call it a trustee, and you create a promissory note, and in that promissory note you clearly define the terms under which you're going to pay back the people their money. So they're investing money in your company as a loan, and you agree that you're going to pay them back under certain conditions. And I would love to explain what the main conditions or highlights of our bond instrument is, which is really just a loan.
Yeah, man, explain, man.
Yeah, definitely. So we have 4 different, we call them tranches, or 4 different bond instruments. And the big difference is when does the loan mature? When do we pay you back your money? So in the first loan, if you invest with us a minimum of $20,000, we will give you back the money in 13 months' time. And in between, we'll pay you interest of 9.25% per annum, and you'll get your interest paid every quarter. So
and that is how much on the 20,000? How much that?
20,000 Jamaican dollars.
No, how much is what you get back on the investment?
Interest.
Yeah, the interest.
Well, if I could work with a bigger number to make my math easy, if you invest $100,000,
yes,
that means you'll get back $9,250 interest per year, 9.25% interest on your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
when you have it at the bank in the savings, you're earning 2 or 3% if you're lucky. You know what I mean?
Nothing.
Exactly. So this time now, rather than you have the money in the bank earning 2%, 3% or close to nothing, or under your mattress earning nothing for sure, Muta, you want to invest it with Mayberry, and if you invest it in tranche 1, which is for 13 months, you get 9.25%. If you invest it in tranche 2, which is a little bit longer, 18 months before that one matures, then you get 10% interest per annum.
Oh, let me say you don't trouble it, you don't trouble it to make it grow.
You just make it grow. And the third one is 24 months, you get interest of 11% per annum. But interest is paid every quarter. Every quarter you get the interest in your hand that you can do it as you want, or you could decide you want to roll it, but every quarter we give you your interest and you decide what you want to do. And then the fourth instrument motor is for 36 months or 3 years, and that pays interest of 12% per annum. So once again, you get the money quarterly, 12% per annum, and you'll be good to go. The good thing about the Mayberry bonds, there are 2 very good features, I would say. The bonds are all secured. So when you lend me the money on a piece of paper loan, you have to say you promise to give back your money. But we're going to have registered security. All of the loans will be fully secured, and the independent trustee, as I said, will be administering that security or collateral to make sure the money is fully secured. So your money is safe, and you don't have to worry about it.
All right, can you lose the money?
Go ahead, sir.
Can you lose your investment?
Not with Mayberry Investments Limited. We've been around for 36 years, and we have
somebody never lose yet.
There's no guy out there could say, I invest with Mayberry and I lose my money. I don't get my own money from Mayberry. That don't exist. So my answer is no, you can't lose with Mayberry Investments Limited. And the money is secured, you know what I mean? Yes. So it has security. And
secured and insured.
It will be trading on the stock market. So it's a publicly traded bond. So suppose you buy the 13-month note, and 6 months into it, you say, but I feel like I need back your money. Then you could just go to any of the brokers and say, hey, could you sell this bond for me? And they would be able to sell it to you on the open market. So there's a way that you could get back your money if you really want to get it back early. You can't wait out the period. And that's another good feature of this Mayberry bond.
That's so interesting. It's so very interesting. So you advise people, I mean, like, if a man just you have some man on the road where I make some nice money, you know, even though it might look like them now make nice money.
Yeah.
Just that the overload of the society and the system so much, it's very difficult for them even think about what you are saying. But what you are saying is a very important aspect of how them can really move their money higher up on a higher level. I can't what you say. You know, you don't have to earn $1 million and $2 million for really invest in a bonds. That is what you say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure my granny said it, I'm sure your granny used to say to you too, it's not what you earn, but what you save. So to me, a man will earn $100,000 a month, but spend all $100,000 and don't save nothing. That don't make no sense. You have to figure out a way how to save your money. And this type of bond is a good way to commit yourself. You know, saving to buy a car, saving to buy a house. Put down the money and commit it to this thing where it can earn proper interest from you, rather than you have it in a savings account to earn you 2%, and as the skin scratch you take out back the money and spend it. When you put it in the bond, it commits it a little bit more. You could still sell it if you want, but it takes more effort. So it's a good way for people to invest their money.
Oh, you apply for this now. Tell me how you apply for it.
Yeah, man. So everything is electronic. Everything is online. And you can go to either bonberry.com or mayberryinvestments.com. Or you can go to the Jamaica Stock Exchange website. Or we have 4 participating selling agents. That is JMMB, Scotia Investment, Proven, or Stocks and Securities Limited. So when you go to Mayberry, any of those 4 brokers, you have many options for you to be able to go and apply to get some of the bonds.
Okay, that sounds interesting. All right, so access the prospectus that we are there.
Yes, you can access the prospectus from any of those websites I told you. It is scheduled to close. This is not going to be open for a very long time. It's scheduled to close in about 3 weeks' time. So I would encourage people put together like a 20,000, 50,000.
No, you can't even put together. Wait a while. You can't put together money in the Christmas, man. Man, I'll never money. I know, man. I'll put together money.
Man, have it under the mattress and save for buy one car.
Under the mattress.
Here.
Well, I can't buy extra fish and I look at the people mattress. Watch it, you know. Watch it, you know. Okay, that Christmas, you know, nobody that save, nobody look for spend. Anyway, you have said 3 weeks' time, it'll go close.
It'll go close within the next 3 weeks. So put together your little money if you can. And, you know, we're not turning back anybody once you can get to the 20,000 minimum. By the way, this is big business in Jamaica. Now, I know you have 2 Jamaica. There's more than, you know, $40 billion of bonds out there in the market. And normally when these things are running, it's only for rich people. You can come up with $1 million minimum. Normally, you get me? So we are doing it a different way. We're opening it up to the average man who can find $20,000.
But you're not stop the man with $1 million. You're not stop the man with $1 million, though.
That's a hairstyle for some ladies, you know. So
no, we're not saying you're not stop the man with $1 million. You're not stop the man with $1 million, though.
Yeah, we can't stop them. No problem. Everybody is welcome.
All right. Well, I listen, and I know a whole lot of people are here. You $20,000 can lead you to a lot of savings. You know, just make your money go and work for you. Make it just sit long there, because the bank a joke. Them big bank now deal with people right. So what them not give no, hey, watch your man, them use your money and them not give you no interest on it. I tell you that.
Most of some of the places, if you leave your money there for 12 months and don't touch it, when you go back, you owe them money. You know?
And that's what I said too. You know, when people are ball through that, when they live in England, we left their money in a bank and then come back there, yes, them go to the bank. Terrible thing. Anyway, give thanks, brethren.
Bless up, both.
Yeah, man. Blantiak from Mayberry trying to make you use your money and don't use your money. Investment banking. Sound good. This is the stepping razor, the art of war. Yes, there we go. Not much time we have, but I don't know much of you hear about Brittney Griner. She was the WNBA sister who Russian detained and locked out in a prison because them say she did have ganja. And a ganja she did have still, but it's not like ganja, you know. It's like a medication. What them call medical marijuana. But them all are there and say them okay a couple years well and thing and Biden ball out, I know say them country they have them detain one another people them, you know. So they make a prison swap with her. I don't know if you hear about it, but the Russian detention in prison swap for convicted arms dealer. So America they roll on one of them arms dealer, who the Russian them do that say lie them at him an arms dealer. And the Russian them hold on this girl with the herbs and them say the American them say lie them at tell. But she admits that she did have the thing still. You know, she admits that she have it. Anyway, it's she has been released from Russian detention in a prisoner swap for convicted Russian arms dealer Victor Bout, according to a source familiar with the matter. Griner is now in the custody of American officials. A U.S. official told CNN. President Joe Biden is expected to speak at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the White House said, though it did not immediately specify the topic. The swap did not include another American that the State Department has declared wrongfully detained, Paul Whelan. Both the Griner and Whelan families have been informed of Griner's release, the source familiar with the matter said. So them hold on pan her, the Russian them hold on pan she, the American them hold on pan one of them man, and now them do a prisoner swap. And so that is how she will come out. That is very interesting how them people they do them thing, you know. You think them easy. You think them people are easy. I see them a go on, you know. Sometimes them do something round the corner where you don't even know say it's like them are enemy, you know, but it's like a nice enemy, you know, them really tease one another. Yeah, them tease one another in a certain way. And you feel around the corner feel say, boy, them people are dangerous to one another, you know, but look how them open up the pathway to make the weak go through still. Yeah, even though them have bombed the people them place and mash down the place, you know. The Russian them still a cheap oil go to some people who is part of NATO. Some European countries part of NATO, you know, but them still take oil from Russia And when America ball out and say, no, the European country, them say, watch out. Yeah, when we say the war of fight, but you see our people, them come first, And if I just so the oil have to come from to help the people, them, we are going to get the oil from Russia, you understand? So all this we are going is just politics and tricks and trade and tricks and trade. And that is how the world go. That is how the world go. I just, we don't know if we play the game there. Yeah, we are talking about black people. We don't know if we play the hypocritical game, because it's really a hypocritical thing, but it's a nice hypocritical thing when you really get down to what these people is doing. And then you start to get aggravated when you see certain things that take place. And you're not supposed to get aggravated. You're not supposed to get aggravated, because them know what them doing. Them know exactly what them doing. So, stiff person syndrome is a disease where when you catch you stand up like a statue and can't move. Your foot can't move. Your body can't, you can't talk or walk. Anybody ever hear about that? Them say it affects 1 in a million people. Now, a very popular artist, don't worry, not a Jamaican, but hey, you see when you go to a certain session where get a woman there, when I say get a woman there, and all you see them are skin out and a skin out and a skin out. You see anytime they hear this a woman a tune, them stand up and dance, and they don't want no man for dance, because them feel say she a sing to them. Me experience that, because I play for them and realize it's an enigma in Jamaica. The same woman who you hear a skin out to the decadent of the dance hall is the same woman when she hear a soul song. She scream and scream out same way. And even sweeter, she feels sweeter when she hears certain woman and sing certain love song, and it sounds like the love song is either she has sing it to a man or a man has sing it to she. Now, we want to play a little clip here by an artist where we want to hear up all the sisters them who know say the artist is a big artist, because one of the best show me see in Jamaica is when she come at Jamaica Jazz and Blues. And I tell you say the place at the carcass, never see the place myself. When she did upon it at the carcass, never see the place. So I'm going to play this clip here. I'm going to talk about the artist named Celine Dion. Celine Dion, hey, you said true name, I'm alive. when over here that true they gone, they wild it up, I'm alive. I have to have next one name, next playing out. People go down and return know what I talk about. Most of the people now going to know it still, but you have certain tune where it just stick in a certain people's mind, like next playing out and I'm alive. Yeah, I'm alive is a place, it's a tune where everybody play. So Celine Dion is a singer. Celine Dion is diagnosed with incurable neurological disease. Tearful singer of she has rare 1 in a million stiff person syndrome that turns sufferers into human statue. You hear that? Human statue.
Hello everyone. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to reach out to you. I miss you all so much. And I can't wait to be on stage talking to you in person. As you know, I've always been an open book. And I wasn't ready to say anything before. But I'm ready now. I've been dealing with problems with my health for a long time. And it's been really difficult for me to face these challenges and to talk about everything that I've been going through. Recently, I've been diagnosed with a very rare neurological disorder called the stiff person syndrome, which affects something like 1 in a million people. While we're still learning about this rare condition, we now know this is what's been causing all of the spasms that I've been having. Unfortunately, these spasms affect every aspect of my daily life, sometimes causing difficulties when I walk and not allowing me to use my vocal cords to sing the way I'm used to. It hurts me to tell you today that this means I won't be ready to restart my tour in Europe in February. I have a great team of doctors working alongside me to help me get better. And my precious children who are supporting me and giving me hope. I'm working hard with my sports medicine therapist every day to build back my strength and my ability to perform again. But I have to admit, it's been a struggle. All I know is singing. It's what I've done all my life. And it's what I love to do the most. I miss you so much. I miss seeing all of you being on the stage, performing for you. I always give 100% when I do my shows, but my condition is not allowing me to give you that right now. For me to reach you again, I have no choice but to concentrate on my health at this moment. And I have hope that I'm on the road to recovery. This is my focus, and I'm doing everything that I can to recuperate. I want to thank you so much for your encouraging wishes of love and support on my social media. This means a lot to me. Take care of yourselves. Be well. I love you guys so much. And I really hope I can see you again real soon.
Yes, I tell you, heart-wrenching man, I tell you. As a lady where most one love her, she have so much hits after hits after hits. And I couldn't even wrap my head around a thing named stiff person syndrome. You just stand up there and can't move. Or you just sit down and your foot can't move, or your hand can't move, or you can't talk. And it's a go on spontaneously, it now happen straight. Like it happened to you and then you get over it a little bit and then you could all go out of your kitchen and then you realize you can't move from there, so you could all watch TV and you realize you can't get up. It's weird, man. Weird. Never hear about that yet. And you can't hear the pain in her, man. You hear the pain in her, emotionally and physically. You hear the pain in her, but well, one artist who me say the people them love in Jamaica is irony that artist is so loved in Jamaica with women who we spread out and 6:30 themselves and all them way there and just stay. But what can we say? That is the power of music. That's the power of music. I remember when Diana King she called up Diana King on stage and the place nearly mashed down. I tell you, the place nearly mashed down when she and Diana Kings. And then she have this version will sing the tune in Italian language. She have him on a screen and she a sing and him a sing and it come like the two of them up on stage together. Yeah, it come like the two of them up on stage together, man. It's something else for them kind of concert there, especially in Jamaica. Because most of the time when you go out of foreign you see them concert there, but you know, them people they do nothing somewhere else, they don't do somewhere else, you understand? And it's beautiful, and we love it. So yeah, Celine Dion, I hope she does let it sound us. It's better that the people them can enjoy our music. Still, okay. So on another note of notes, I know this is really terrible. It's not terrible, but it's a serious thing. Tanzania cancel them Independence Day celebration. Did you hear what I say? Tanzania cancel them independence celebration and has directed that the budget instead be used to build dormitories for children with special needs. Hey, Jamaica, millions of dollars when independence come and spell a stadium, you know, to keep the Grand Gala. And a whole heap of people balling at them should have used the money for better use. But you know, that not reach at the level of these politician consciousness to do them something there. Well, here is one woman who say, look here, we now have no independence celebration this year because you have some children who need the money. The 61st Independence Day event had to cost $445,000 US, but the money will be used to build 8 dormitories in primary schools and around the country. Tanzania Minister of State George Simkarani on Monday said that the money had been dispersed. He said the East African country will celebrate Independence Day by having public dialogues on development. So you know to them people, they're serious. You never go do, instead of having a whole heap of Rary and Lele, they add it by having public dialogue on development. Usually Independence Day celebrations are marked with pomp and state banquets, just like Jamaica. This is not, however, the first time Tanzania has cancelled the celebrations. In 2015, then President John Magufuli cancelled celebrations and diverted funds towards the building of a road in the commercial capital Dar es Salaam. In 2020, he did the same and directed that the budget be used to buy medical facilities. So them I said, all right, we know so we have independence, but you know, instead of spending much millions of dollars to go keep this and keep that, we could spend the money used to build some road and help some children. Who are going to miss the Grand Gala in that stadium? Not me. If you know that the money where they're going to use for Grand Gala is used, forget all that whole heap of them so-called mad people off of the road and put them in a place, proper place. Would you prefer the Grand Gala? If you know so them going to use the money for help the facilities in the hospital them, like where Shaggy used to do, would you be upset? I wouldn't. So we know that some people are forward thinking. Forward thinking. That is what they are, forward thinking. And we love people who think forward. Yes, we live in a police state, you know. I hear the Prime Minister say the state of, what do you call it, the emergency curfew business where they take place in Jamaica. Yeah. We must feel no way because in a certain country like El Salvador and all that. Hey, Prime Minister, look at man. Anytime them people there cause state of emergency in them country, you know see what happen? You know see the brutality will take place with the soldier them and the police them to the people them. You think so we above that? All the day they talk about the police was well trained and the soldier them well trained. You know, think so the soldier and the police them in El Salvador and them South American country they well trained. But that don't stop them from create atrocities against the people them. Because that is what is happening. That is what happened. That is what happened. So when you are say, you know, it's not a problem because other countries do it. And so you look on it and say other countries do it, so you can do it too. Anything they can do, you can do it better too. As you said, you can mention them country to anybody. You should not shame yourself for the country them you mention. You should not shame yourself for mention them. Because we know the police state with them country they under. We have some serious police state. It's a terrible thing. So I use them state as example. It's like when him say him want Jamaica to be the Singapore. Sorry, not the Singapore. Yeah, Singapore. Jamaica must be the Singapore of the Caribbean. Because them say Rwanda is the Singapore in Africa. Yes, what we are saying? We are saying Singapore is not a democratic country. And Rwanda is not a democratic country. Them rule with iron fists, autocratic government them have. And you say Jamaica now give up democracy, but you are come try bring some little autocratic argument to the people and make it look like an autocracy. It's an autocracy. You know, see it? Them have constitution where them do everyone look on the constitution to suit the people them. The slave master them give them a constitution, and for how much years now them live for that constitution, they don't recognize it. The constitution in Jamaica was not fashioned to help the people of Jamaica. It was there to help the planter class people who have land. And the black people them in Jamaica at the time when the constitution, 1962, when the queen gave them the constitution to come back here, Bustamante and Norman Manley. It was fashioned to keep the plantation owners them in power and in control of the people. So even though some things in the constitution might look like it can benefit we, overall, the constitution need to dump. It need to dump and figure out something else. Because when you hear this or that go on, and when you look on the road, it look like we live in a police state for true. I can't do where the bridge and things say. You see big tank up on the road and soldier go up on the road and all them something there. And you say, okay, everybody understand that crime is terrible. But even me I say no. These people in that society, you must stop asking the government about where's the crime plan, It's foolishness. What are you asking about crime plan for? The government don't have no crime plan. The crime plan is to keep the police state intact. And every minute they create another one, state of emergency. That's what they want to do. They want to, remember one of them that say, it could have run for a year. Yeah, they want the state of emergency to run for a year. It's crazy, you know, because Jamaican people don't understand what a state of emergency involves at its core. The rights of the people them can be just trampled underfoot. Because you have soldier up on the road. If you have soldier up on the road, it's not a normal state that again, you know. Not a normal state. You know, see, and then the police have powers where it's not a normal police force again. So we better watch where we're going, you know. Better your Trump say, the other day, them should have get through the American Constitution. Hey, yeah. I tell you, say, we have a baby Trump on here, you know. We have a baby Trump. Because same time when this brother has say, we need to look into the Constitution to figure out where we are going to do. But this police, this state of emergency. Because they want to bypass certain laws and regulation to have the authority to just say state of emergency and state of emergency. Trump, because he realized this and this and that are going, he must say, them should have revamped the Constitution of America. One of the man them say, look here, America, the Constitution is America. What him saying? What him saying? About get to the Constitution of America. He want to fix it. Trump go fix it. With them just find him company them 17 counts of all kind of madness. And now this man, your baby Trump, now I look on we on the TV, say, well, right now, we should look into this thing, you know, because them do have no crime plan. We must stop asking about where the crime plan there. This brother up on the other side, them named Golden, and him friend them, I ask about crime plan. What the hell are asking the government crime plan for? You can't say the government have no crime plan. Or if them have a crime plan, they would like to run the state of emergency for all 1 year, 2 year, and them feel say the gun them would have diminished. Let me tell you something, man. If you don't run state of emergency for more than the time when you not say, all of a sudden, you know what's going to happen? It's going to come like a normal thing, and the man them going to back to work. The gunman them going to back to work. So all when you say, well, you know, during the state of emergency, crime went down. Of course, crime went down. Of course. Who want to run up and down with gun in a place where you see tank and all them things they are run on the road? But it's not them I use and feel say the gun get diminished. And then them say, as it start back now, your crime start again. All right. Make it go on for 6 months and see where I go on. Make it say that I don't want to go on for 6 months, you know, but I just say, hypothetically, make it go on for 6 months and see if the gunman them who are kill one another out, they go and stop kill one another. You know, see, it's a madness. And this PNP government with them have on the other side. We must stop asking about no crime plan. The business sector love the state of emergency. Because remember COVID when the place locked down, they make billions of dollars. They never make so much money. Pre-COVID. Them never make so much money before COVID happened. All of them, when you hear them talk about first quarter, they make billions, and the second quarter, they make billions, and all them something there. They might make money when the people them lock down. You know, see, the only people them never make money is the man them who used to the on the street corner sell, the bar them, and the holy possession we used to keep. You know, see, that's how the COVID ease up now, how much poster you see all over the place. I never see so much poster in Jamaica in my life. With all holy dance I keep and dance I keep. I never enter Kingston. I never see so much show posters, dance posters, all sort of posters, stick up all over half a tree. Look how much show I keep in one place. You have a big show. You have 3 big show I keep in one place at St. Anne. 3 big show. Where you ever hear that? Not to mention the little show they may keep down there, occasionally on the side. 3 big show I keep in one place. Sting, Intimate and Rebel Salute. One place that I keep. The same place. And a big show them there. Well, last year I heard so much, 3 big show I keep, one after the other, so. That not happen. But the place open up and everybody want to do something. And them talk about, them have called state of emergency again, you know. But it will end the 21st. I'm going to tell them, don't call them state of emergency, because that things they will call it during the holiday time, but them smart, them say by the 21st, that one is supposed to happen gone. You don't call no more. You don't call the word. I demand that you don't call the word. Please. Not after the 21st, not the 22nd. No. To tell people say them have to come off the road by 6. You mad? 22nd, 23rd, 24th, New Year, Christmas Eve, 25th, Christmas, 26th, my birthday, the Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. No, sir. Catastrophe that. Total catastrophe. Anyway, this government don't have no crime plan. So they must stop call upon the government for a crime plan. Them crime plan is to keep the state of emergency as a normal tactics to fight crime in Jamaica. And we will know that is not part of the constitution that them always follow. Them following it and them don't want to say them following the constitution sometime. You know, say it. And now the Prime Minister called for certain things for bypass. They want to bypass certain things from the constitution. And this is where I'm reaching now. Say, well, right now, we have to really figure out a way how to bypass all the opposition, them look at the attack. But say, them have boycott state of emergency when the people them want the state of emergency. The people them want the state of emergency because them feel a sense of security. When them see soldiers and police walk up and down in them community. It's a false sense of security. And me I say that, false sense of security. Because you see police, you feel you're safer, and because you see soldier walk up and down. Because them same soldier there will come in your community, come aggravate the situation. Yes, same soldier them. Because them not used to intermingle with the population. So certain things that might look normal to the people in the community might not look normal to them. I mean, it's like, not throw gas pan fire, you know. We not throw gas on it, curse in it, not throw gas pan fire. What is the people them supposed to do when we call state of emergency? And nobody come to them not agree with state of emergency. But state of emergency, when, where, what, and why. You know? You have to have something in place to deal with what is going on in Jamaica. And the answer is not a state of emergency. You know, I was make some suggestion on this program at some time. And we could have really say some other things, but one politician tells me, why I like what you're talking about, it's too radical. big politician by that tells me, him like, when I drive come home from Parliament sometime, I drive come home from Emako, he might listen to me, but him like what I say, but it's kind of too radical. If I tell you how you pop down to it, yeah, you pop down if I tell you how. But you can be radical, you're radical, like what them I don't know. And use a state of emergency as crime plan, that is radical. And that is unconstitutional too. And this is not Rwanda. And this is not Singapore. Because if it was Singapore, the road them wouldn't look so. The road them wouldn't look like how it look. No road in Singapore. No look so. You think you can speed on the road in Singapore? People are talking about Singapore. Singapore is not a democratic country. The program I couldn't depend on the radio if I was in Singapore because it wouldn't be needed in Singapore. It's just simple. It wouldn't be needed. You know, come and can say, Muta, so we have freedom of press, so yeah, you have freedom of press, so and Muta can come on the radio and chat certain thing. But him couldn't say that in Singapore. Of course, we couldn't say it in Singapore because it don't need to say it in Singapore. And what we are saying is that if you're in Singapore and you speed on the road, you could get arrested. Yeah. If you then a bus and choose something outside and drop on the road, you could get arrested. If you ride a bike or drive a car and them soot will come out of the tailpipe there, you could get arrested. As a matter of fact, you have some European country, if you stop your car, you have to turn off the key, turn the car off totally. You can't make the thing a rattle, and then all of the carbon monoxide will come out of the top back of the car, because you will get arrested. You will be arrested. So we have to understand what we are talking about Singapore and Singapore and Singapore. Singapore where? If you want to be an autocratic country, well, make it an autocratic country, but then no, not with this brother here, all them people who are in a parliament. You know see it? Because they will be vicious. Vicious. And them is thief. What heap of them in there is thief. We don't say all of them are thief. But show me your company and I tell you who he is. And that my granny used to say, show me my company and I tell you who he is.
People of West Kingston and its environs, and the people of Jamaica, as one form of redress and promoting justice, as well as restoring trust and confidence in the state. The government agrees that the events, as they unfolded, presented enormous challenges to the security forces. Consequently, Mr. Speaker, I believe that the most immediate and appropriate response of the government of Jamaica is to begin the healing process by apologizing to those who were affected. As such, I stand here in this honorable house to unreservedly and unequivocally apologize to the people of West Kingston, and in particular the residents of Tivoli Gardens and Denham Town, who were most affected through loss of life and damage to property and the pain they endured by the violence that took place.
You remember that? That was what took place in Tivoli when them put soldier and police on the road them and decide say them are going to go in there to go get rid of certain elements. You remember how much ones get dead in there? You remember? That is what we are talking about. We're there with you on the stepping razor. Okay, so here we go. So we have some Nigerian name I feel from out of Nigeria. And some of them can use as male name or female name. But we'll get some of them will use as male name first, but you can select out it and see which one you love for a female too. Here we go. Afolabi. Afolabi. A-F-O-L-A-B-I. Afolabi. Born with I status. Born with I status. Fulami. Fulami. F-O-L-A-M-I. Fulami means breathe with honor. Breathe with honor. Modupi. Modupi. M-O-D-U-P-E. Modupi. I give thanks. I give thanks. Onye. Or Onye. O-N-I-Y-I. Onye. O-N-I-Y-I means the man with dignity. The man with dignity. Okay. More names. Female too. Oluyomi. Oluyomi. O-L-U-Y-O-M-I. Oluyomi means God rescue me. Olufemi. Olufemi. O-L-U-F-E-M-I. Olufemi means God loves me. Them will name that anytime you say O-L-U started, it represents God, our Lord. So Oluyomi is God rescue me. And the Olufemi, which have Olu upon it again, is God loves me. Obimbola. Obimbola. O-B-I-M-B-O-L-A. Obimbola. I was born with I state. I was born with I state. Yetunde. Yetunde. Y-E-T-U-N-D-E. Yetunde means mother comes again. African names. Okay, so I come forward to this thing here where those of you who don't remember about what happened at Tivoli, and some serious things that go on at Tivoli. Terrible things that go on at Tivoli. Now, we don't like that happen again. Because I remember say, things like that happened in 1963 with the Carroll Garden massacre. And the way all these people are running the thing, you know, them know say you have 300, it's a new term, you know. Remember a new term around the place named crime producers. Remember facts where them produce crime. Crime producers, 300. Them know, according to them intelligence, them know. So you have 300 crime producers. There's 3 million people in a Jamaica. 3 million people in a Jamaica. But you have 300 crime producers where I create havoc to make the whole of the population in serious stiffness. Now, me don't understand, if you know that there's 300 ones in a Jamaica who produce crime, it means that you know, I would assume that you know who them is. You know who them is. And if you know who them is, why you have to lock down the whole place to get 300 man? Or that matter kill 300 man because it look like that go on. You have to lock down the place to get 300 man, Rasta. How much people live at Portmore or in a Kingston? Several, almost 200,000 people, well maybe 200,000 people in a Kingston, maybe. St. Catherine, them say have a whole heap of crime. St. James and Westmoreland, biggest crime producers, according to what them I say now. So you have 300 crime producers where you finger. And in a week you can't ever get 2 of them. Because for me, you matter about crime producers and 300 crime producers. It's like me I hear about 200 gonna come in at the island every month. 200 gonna come in the island every month, and you never, since you attack, get 200 gone in 1 month. Not even in your, what them call it, amnesty. But 90 had gone them fine at the amnesty. You know? So I don't understand why them announcing these things. And when you look on the positivity rate of the thing, it's not working. But them have a crime plan. This is a state of emergency. That is a crime plan, state of emergency. Chris Anne was one of them freedom fighters who wanted to fight with Nelson Mandela and them Mandela at the apartheid time when they did look for liberate South Africa from the hands of the minority white people. Well, you know, say a man did assassinate him and them catch him man. Yeah, can I pronounce the name? Janos Wallace. South Africa on Wednesday, December the 7th, released on parole Janos Wallace, a far-right activist who in 1993 assassinated anti-apartheid hero Chris Anne and nearly plunged the country into civil war. You hear them though? I release him, you know, on parole, you know. That is causing a whole heap of problem in South Africa right now. The people on the street is released bitterly contested by groups that fought white minority rule, has been postponed after he was stabbed by a fellow inmate inside prison. Let me say them release was postponed because them stabbed him in a prison. Justice and Correctional Service Minister Roland Lamola has placed Wallace on parole under strict conditions with effect from Wednesday, the government said in that statement. Why would they want to give him parole? It's weird. I wonder if white people also control South Africa again. I wonder if white people are going to start. I wonder if you're going to hear a white president of South Africa again. A spokesman confirmed that this meant the 69-year-old had been released in line with a decision by the Constitutional Court. Quote, he will serve 2 years under community corrections in line with the parole regime upon which he is released, the statement said. Last month's court decision was described as diabolical by Annie Bido and unleashed angry protests by the ruling African National Congress and its apartheid era ally, the South African Communist Party, which Annie had led. A week after the ruling, Wallace was stabbed while queuing for food in the jail. By some man must have been some years ago come out, beside the must have it. So that is what going on in South Africa, apart from the president, we're under some serious scrutiny there for corruption. But for those of you who don't know Christianity, we go and Google him. During the apartheid era there, he was very instrumental in a whole heap of activity as it relates to the liberation of South Africa from the minority white people them. And we don't hear these things, that things we hear on news out there regular. But it's very important because we must remember that Jamaica was the first country to have sanctions against South Africa, little Jamaica. We must remember that. Don't forget that. That's serious thing. The time is 5 o'clock. Here we go with the Supreme Promotion, Top Draw Dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot drive time draws. Momentarily, that was drive time Top Draw Dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick and cash pot draws. Congratulations to all of today's winners. Join us again at 8:25 p.m. for another chance to win Top Draw Dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick and cash pot draws. You know, we tell the people them say, you see this one heap of car we drive on the road at them time, yeah? But I don't know where them come from. Because all them time I hear so much car on the road. I don't know the people that park them car and wait for Christmas to drive, but it's a terrible thing to go up on the road. So better do your thing early, you know. Do your thing early because a driver used to take you 20 minutes, to take you 1.5 now. Yes, and it's a serious thing. And you see them women that we walk with them bag and all them something there, handbag, and hey, I better you left your bag in your car and lock your car, you know. Yes, lock the car, make sure your car locked too, you know. We want to heal up the people them who return my daughter bag with them teeth out her car. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing, you know. Them people that want to put up things on internet, you know, them wicked, you know. The people them wicked, especially what some of the youth them, and some of them still. Some of them give some picture and some headline, you know, where when you listen to the thing, not go say anything, you know. Now imagine me there last week and I tell people say, somebody take out my daughter, them take out her bag and her computer, everything out her car. The next day I say a thing, motor daughter get robbed. And when me look, you know, I see them a picture of one daughter where me don't know which girl that, you know. Cause you know there's some people that say, wait, that's some motor daughters there. I know my daughter that, you know. But some guy can't find my daughter picture and put that there and make people think I'm my daughter. Anyway, she get back the bag. But she don't get back the computer. She get back her credit card and everything and me feel good about it. So somebody did not listen. So you hear me I say now. She still want her computer because the computer don't make no sense to you. Because what you're going to do is delete everything we have in there and then go try to sell it. It's a weird thing. So if you know say they take her computer, if you say I'm gonna try to sell your computer, just figure out where you get it from because you can be arrested and so for buy thieving goods, you know. Yeah, you can be arrested for buy thieving goods. So just I say, try your best. Just try your best.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.